Life is a delicate thread, spun with decisions, chances, and the unpredictable currents of time. For most, this thread follows a simple, familiar pattern. But for some, a single, almost invisible knot can appear, pulling their entire world into a new shape, often one they never imagined. A life built over decades can be undone in a moment. A dream can become a nightmare, not with a sudden shock, but with a quiet, creeping shadow. We often look at the lives of the famous, the celebrated, their rises and falls displayed for all to see. But what about the stories that unfold in the quiet corners of our world? The epic tales of ordinary people, whose triumphs and tragedies are witnessed by no one but the silent walls of their own homes. These are the stories that remind us how fragile it all is. Let's talk about Mark. Just a few years ago, Mark was a man who had seemingly won the lottery of life, without ever buying a ticket. At 35, he was a software engineer in a small town, living a quiet, predictable existence. He had a small apartment, a loyal dog, and a passion for coding that he pursued late into the night. It was one of these late-night projects, a simple mobile game he built for fun, that changed everything. He uploaded it to an app store, not expecting much. But the world had other plans. Overnight, his game went viral. Downloads exploded. First thousands, then millions. Money started pouring in, amounts he couldn't even comprehend. He quit his job, moved to a penthouse in the city, and bought the sports car he'd only ever seen in magazines. He was the local boy who made it, a testament to the power of a good idea. He felt invincible, as if he had cracked the code not just for his game, but for life itself. But the higher you climb, the thinner the air becomes. The pressure mounted. Everyone wanted a piece of his success. Old friends became distant, replaced by new ones who saw him as an opportunity. The joy of creating was replaced by the anxiety of maintaining. He started making bigger bets, investing in risky ventures, convinced his golden touch was permanent. The turning point wasn't a single dramatic event, but a series of small, poor decisions, fueled by ego and the fear of losing it all. A bad investment here, a failed project there. He started drinking to quiet the noise in his head, the voice that whispered he was an imposter who just got lucky. He isolated himself, pushing away the few people who genuinely cared. The fall was faster than the rise. Within 2 years, the money was gone. The penthouse was sold. The sports car was repossessed. Mark found himself back in a small apartment, not so different from where he started, but now he was haunted. Not by the loss of money, but by the loss of himself. He was surrounded by silence, a silence that was once peaceful but now felt like a judgment. Half a world away, in a bustling city in Asia, lived a woman named Ananya. She wasn't a tech genius, she was a chef. Soon, an investor took notice. He offered her a chance to open her own restaurant, a fine dining establishment in the heart of the city. It was her dream. She poured her heart and soul into it. The restaurant was a huge success, earning awards and rave reviews. Ananya became a culinary star, a symbol of how passion and hard work could elevate you from the streets to the highest echelons of society. Like Mark, she found that success was a demanding master. The pressure to innovate, to maintain the highest standards, to manage a growing staff, was relentless. She worked 18-hour days, fueled by caffeine and adrenaline. Her life became the restaurant. She lost touch with her family, who felt she now belonged to a different world. The turning point for Ananya was a betrayal. Her business partner, the investor who had made her dream possible, was secretly siphoning money from the business. When the fraud was discovered, the restaurant was deep in debt. The scandal was public, and the fall was brutal. The restaurant closed. The awards meant nothing. Ananya was left with nothing but a shattered reputation and the bitter taste of misplaced trust. She retreated from the world, the fire in her culinary spirit extinguished. Two different people, from two different cultures, their stories a mirror image of each other, a rapid ascent followed by a catastrophic collapse, proving that the human experience of rising and falling is a universal language. But not all falls are a sudden crash. Some are a slow, quiet descent, almost unnoticeable until you hit the bottom. Consider David, a respected history teacher in a quiet suburban town. For 30 years, he was a pillar of his community. He didn't chase wealth or fame. His success was measured in the generations of students he inspired. He was married to his high school sweetheart, had 2 grown children, and lived in the same house for most of his adult life. His life was a study in stability, a portrait of contentment. The fall began subtly. It started with a quiet loneliness after his wife passed away. The house felt too big, the silence too loud. He slowly began to withdraw. He stopped attending community events and declined invitations from friends. At school, his passion began to wane. The lectures that were once vibrant became rote, the spark in his eyes dimming. His decline wasn't marked by a single event, but by the slow erosion of purpose. He felt like a relic from a bygone era, his knowledge less valued in a world of instant information. He started drinking more than he should, not in noisy bars, but alone in his armchair, with the television murmuring in the background. His health began to fail. His children, busy with their own lives, noticed his decline but felt powerless to stop it. The man who had shaped so many young minds couldn't find a reason to shape his own future. His fall wasn't a dramatic spectacle, it was a slow fade to gray, a story of a man who simply got lost in the quiet corridors of time. A reminder that sometimes, the most devastating collapses happen internally, long before any external signs are visible. Looking at the stories of Mark, Ananya, and David, we see a pattern. We see how ego can blind us, making us believe our success is permanent. We see how pressure, whether from the outside world or from within, can warp our judgment. We see how the very things that drive us, ambition, trust, passion, can also become our undoing. Money and fame are powerful forces, but it's often loneliness that delivers the final blow. The isolation at the top is real, and so is the isolation at the bottom. These stories aren't just about losing fortunes or careers, they are about losing a sense of self, of purpose. They are a stark reminder that the foundation of our lives is often more fragile than we think. We live in a world that glorifies the rise but turns away from the fall. We celebrate the destination but ignore the perilous journey. The truth is, the line between an ordinary life and an extraordinary tragedy is razor thin. It could be one decision, one stroke of bad luck, one moment of weakness. The silent stories of people like Mark, Ananya, and David unfold around us every day, unnoticed. They are in our neighborhoods, our workplaces, maybe even in our own families. Their experiences serve as a quiet, chilling warning: success is fleeting, security is an illusion, and the person whose life changes overnight could be anyone. It could be a stranger. It could be a friend. It could be you. Thanks for watching. If these stories made you think, consider subscribing for more deep dives into the human condition. Stay reflective and stay safe.